Hi YouTube, what is up? I'm coming at you with another deck profile on our channel. So today I'm doing something that is kind of similar to our True Draco deck profile in light of the fact that it's hated widely amongst the community, and if you're looking to win without caring if people like you or not, this is definitely a good deck to steal quite a few wins, even at like the regional and YCS level. The deck profile I'm doing today is Mystic Mine Burn. So, people have always hated floodgates, but to think that Mystic Mine is a card is ridiculous. Now, Mystic Mine on its own is fair. It's got a built-in self-destruct button, and both players are affected by it. But, on the contrary, there's a card in this deck that I will show you in a minute here that negates the built-in self-destruct button and makes the card super unfair. Now, if you thought that True Draco was good, wait until you see this deck. Without further ado, let's begin. 3 Mystic Mines, obviously. The card didn't get touched on the ban list like so many people were predicting it would. And it's the MVP, really. This card is ridiculous. For those of you who don't know what it says, here you go. It says, if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, your opponent cannot activate monster effects or declare an attack. If you control more monsters than your opponent does, you cannot activate monsters or declare an attack. Once per turn, during the end phase, if both players have the same number of monsters, destroy this card. Now, from the sounds of it, it seems like an overall balanced card, and really, it is on its own. It negates monster effects and stops your opponent from attacking. But this card is what makes it unfair. Field Barrier. You also play 3 of that, which what this does is that built-in self-destruct button that it has to destroy itself if there are the same number of monsters, just throw that out the window. It doesn't even say that when you have this card, because field spells in the field zone cannot be destroyed. That card is really, if you have that card, you just win. Like, if they have Twin Twisters, that's about the only way they're outing that, and most people don't main deck that. So you steal the game 1. Game 2 is a grind to get around the field barrier and the back row hate that they side in, and then if you don't win game 2, you go game 3. Now, this next card is usually played in the side deck, but seeing as how you're playing a deck that revolves around 2-card combo that is easily outed by spell and trap removal, you need plenty of ways to stop that spell and trap removal from killing you. So I main deck 3 Prohibition. That's right. I can call Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, Heavy Storm Duster, Lightning Storm, whatever I so please, and you cannot activate that card. And I just wanted to show you guys, I have a secret rares. They're really nice. I actually traded a Lightning Storm for those and a bunch of other things. But, yeah. Not much needs to be said about Prohibition. It's a very underrated old card that most people don't even play in the side deck, but if they were going to play it, they would most likely play it in the side deck. But this deck main decks 3. You need as many ways to out the back row hate as humanly possible. Enough said with that. Twin Twisters, Cosmic Cyclone, whatever, gets out of it. And if you don't call the back row hate, you can also call like their main combo piece to stop them from comboing off. The next card I play is a tech that I got from a channel on YouTube, and he's the guy who's been taking this deck to YCS level tournaments and sniping out wins. This is his tech, and I gotta give credit where it's due. But Goddess Skuld's Oracle. Spiral Gear Drone as a continuous spell card. That's what this is. As you know, Gear Drone was just brought back from 1 to 3. So this card was never at 1, and it does the same exact thing except for it locks you into fairies. But you literally play 3 monsters in your deck, and you don't even want to see them. The monsters are useless. They're literally just filler. But, I mean, that card also stops your opponent from getting into the Spell and Trap Hate. If you look at the top 3 cards and put the Spell and Trap Hate on the bottom of those 3 every turn, they're never getting it, you know? Card's super broken, and it's highly underrated. Alright, now we're on to the burn portion of the deck. Now, I play an abnormal amount of burn, and quite frankly, I feel like I could be doing a better ratio. I just didn't have other cards available. But, these cards are just as good. They'll get you there the same way that any other one would. My burn card engine is 3 Wave Motion Cannon. Yep, most people only play 1 of that. Most people only play like a total of 3 or 4 burn cards to begin with. I play a total of 5 burn cards in just the spells alone. And another alternate win con. But, yeah. Opening with this card is ridiculous. They have 8 turns to win. If you get multiples of them on the field, that time is fractioned. One time I opened up an opening hand with Mystic Mine, Field Barrier, 2 Wave Motion Cannons, and a Dark Bribe. So I had Negate Power, I had my full setup, and I had a 4-turn win con. It was spicy. Now, this card, again, it's not the best one. There are better ones, as I'm going to show you next. If anything, I would play 3 of this next card before I'd play 3 Wave Motion. But having 3 Wave Motion in here isn't bad. It does the job all the same. The next card I play is... Hold up. 1 Cauldron of the Old Man. Now, this is probably your best win con, is seeing as how it not only does it in a turn less, but it's constantly burning, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really need to stay on the field the whole time like that one does. That one, if they hit it with a Twin Twisters, it just doesn't do any damage at all. But Cauldron, every turn, you're slowly dealing more and more damage. And it does it in a turn less. Cauldron of the Old Man is all around just a better win con for this deck than Wave Motion Cannon, but be that as it may, I only have the 1, and Wave Motion Cannon does the job all the same. I also play 1 Dark Snake Syndrome. This card burns both players during the standby phase and progressively gets bigger. But, you see, with all the other burn cards I play, it speeds up the process. Again, it's probably the second to worst one I play, but it's just there because it exists. It's a burn card, and it does the job. And now for my alternate win con that I mentioned already. Final Countdown. Not much to be said there. Card's at 1 for a reason, and people have always hated this card. And in a deck that plays 3 of that card as its basis, Final Countdown is easily resolvable. Don't even worry about it. Like, it's ridiculous. And now, with that's my 6-card win con engine. Yeah. The rest of the deck is primarily just consistency and negate power for the most part, but it's still necessity. Now, I don't have 3 Pot of Stupid Expensiveness, aka Extravagance, but I'm hoping to pick up the reprinted ones out of Toon Chaos, and I suggest you do the same. I don't play an extra deck because I don't need to, because I don't have it, but I highly recommend picking up Extravagance. It is a super ridiculous card, and the only reason I don't have it is it's way too much money. That being said, I do play other forms of consistency. One of the best in the game is Pot of Duality. Now, we all know what this card does, we all know that it's good, and we all know that when you play 3 monsters in your deck, the drawback of not being able to special summon is completely irrelevant. And you basically just get a free card from your deck. It's ridiculous. Next card I play is Shard of Greed. The 2-turn wait period is useless. It's literally just a Pot of Greed in this deck. That's what it is. It's Pot of Greed. Because Mystic Mine, they're not doing anything anyways, so you don't care about waiting 2 turns to draw the cards. The fact that you have to wait 2 cards is funny, actually, because it just makes the game take longer, and people are just going to hate you more and more as the game progresses. But, yeah, Pot of Greed's banned, Shard of Greed's not. And, yeah, you don't care about the 2-turn wait. Card of Fate. Now, this is actually a relatively new card, that from what I know, but it's interesting. So, both you and your opponent get to look through their deck and choose any one card. Then you shuffle off of your opponent to cut, and then you take the top 4 cards randomly, without looking at them. And you put them with that card. You don't have to reveal any of them. Then you shuffle all 5 cards together, and you randomly choose 1 to go to your hand, and the other 4 go back into your deck. Your opponent gets the same effect. So you have a 1 in 5 chance of getting the card you want, and the other 4 cards are completely randomized. But either way, you get a card to your hand, and yeah. Now, this card is meh. But, I mean, it's meh. It could be better, could be worse. The next card you play is 2 Left Arm Offering. You play 30 spells. Not much needs to be said about why you play this card. 30 spell cards, yeah, that's a card. The next 2 cards are just alternate ways to get into your Mystic Mine, and it's a really interesting thing that these cards are both at 1, but I get why. All the best meta decks play field spells, so yeah. 1 Terraforming and 1 Metaverse. Metaverse is probably the best card in your deck. If it wasn't Mystic Mine or Field Barrier or Cauldron of the Old Man or any of these previous spell cards, Metaverse is the best card in your deck. During your opponent's turn, you get to activate Mystic Mine from deck. Yeah. Card's at 1 for a reason, guys. Same with Terraforming. It searches for Mystic Mine. Alright, the next couple cards are Negate Power, and they're probably the best negates in your deck. You want to see them probably even before Prohibition. I should be playing 3 Solemn Judgment, but I'm only playing 2 because I only have the 2. But before that, I should probably show you 3 Dark Bribe. They activate Twin Twisters, they discard a card as cost, you negate it, and they get to replace that card. They get a +0, and your Mystic Mine's still there. They go even, they break even, and your Mystic Mine's still there. You don't care about the draw, because they have to discard its cost. If they activate Cosmic Cyclone, you negate it, and they paid life for cost, so it just speeds up your process. You really need this card in the deck. It's super ridiculously overpowered, and yeah. 2 Solemn Judgments. Again, I said I should be playing 3, but I don't have a third one, so 2 is good. Oh, a funny thing about Dark Bribe. My friend Noah and I, we're both on this channel, he's the Fluffle deck profile. We both used to always make fun of Dark Bribe. We hated the card, we thought it was completely bad, and we made so much fun of it. We gave it so much crap for the fact that it gives your opponent draw power. But look at us now. We're playing a deck that plays 3. It's a card. That's for sure. 1 Magic Cylinder. Again, the rest of these cards are pretty much just filler, but 1 Magic Cylinder, it's a good card, I guess. 1 Jar of Greed. It's draw power. Not much else to be said about that. This one, I actually think that it's nowhere near a necessity. Don't get me wrong. But I really like it, because in the late game, if you get there and they find a way to out you in the late game, it gets you recyclability if you don't lose that turn. Pot of Avarice. If they out all 3 of your Mystic Mines, you just put them back. Draw 1. Like, the card's good. I could play 3, but again, it's just a filler. I think 1 is just fine. 2 Ring of Destruction for those problematic beat sticks while you don't have Mystic Mine on the board. You just have those in. Yeah. And then the last 3 cards are my 3 monster cards. The only thing I would do differently is play 3 of the first guy instead of the 3 different guys. That's just because you don't need monsters at all, but if you're gonna play monsters, play the one that gives it to yourself to your opponent, the DD guy. It literally auto-activates Mystic Mine. If you don't have Field Barrier, you just normal summon him, his effect gives him to your opponent, and then you activate Mystic Mine. It doesn't die, so, you know, it doesn't. So, yeah. And then the last 2 cards, again, I would say make these 2 DD guides instead, but 1 Marshmallow and 1 Time Lord. He's really good. Not much needs to be said about him. Card's really good. It's an easy way to out problematic cards. Enough said with that. Again, we thank you guys for your support. We're a new and upcoming channel, and we hope you enjoy our content. Leave us a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this deck profile, and hopefully in the future we can do some pack openings for you guys. I know that pack opening is a good idea for a YouTube channel, and right now it's just with this quarantine we are having troubles with getting the packs and recording and all that, but hopefully sometime in the not so distant future we will bring you guys some pack openings, and we'll maybe do some live duels at our locals or whatever. And yeah, thank you for watching, and stay safe during this quarantine. Don't get a ticket for going out, and leave us a like and subscribe.